Because I will.
Just play that on it.
I might actually just like mute the game and only play the Spotify, because I'm sure everyone will go insane if they have to hear the fucking Safari Zone music on loop.
I hear it in my dreams. You're about to hear it in your dreams.
No, that's why I'm playing Spotify. Here we go. Muting Elgato. Let's hope I remember to unmute it by the time I do the next Pokemon stream.
That'd be awkward.
That would be very awkward.
Hey, asshole, we can't hear anything! That's what we'll get.
Okay. Now let me just pull up my sticky note that I have to keep track of everything I need to catch. Alright. I just need someone that can surf.
Surfing US.
And I have someone that can surf, so I'm all good. Hello, Daniel.
So is this gonna just be like 20 episodes on YouTube?
No, I'm doing the same thing like when I was catching Volbeat. It's just gonna be one big thing.
Okay.
It's just getting lumped together. I planned, actually. I have enough videos for YouTube, because I go to Thursday currently. So Safari will be Friday, like this stream. So just one big fucking honking video on Friday.
On a honking video.
So Thursday I'm going to do another Pokemon stream where I do actual game content. I'm also going to probably go fucking broke entering the Safari Zone over and over again.
Oh yeah, so what are you going to do when that happens?
I have a lot of money, so I'm going to hope it doesn't. That's the plan, Parker.
I was hoping that you just say cry.
That's gonna be the answer, is what happens. I need the fucking Pokeblock case from Woolly Cove. Give me a second. Because the game expects you to use the features ads, but I'm stupid, and I need those Pokeblocks for something else. Who gives it to me? Is this person standing right here, I think? Who the fuck? Okay, someone gives it to me. Wait, was he just telling? Wait. Hey Sakai, the toughness contest is like extreme, man. Those muscular appeals, cascading sweat, I swoon. I'll point out, Parker, what I'm currently looking at is a very large man.
Nice.
Oh, Daniel's got a main D&D question. What books add epic boons? I know they are in DMG, but I want to know if there are any more official epic boons.
No, the only epic boons that ever came out were in DMJ. I've really expanded upon that system.
Oh, okay, so the people here just give it to me. Okay.
Which is unfortunate. And Kaias, I have trouble tabbing out of this window. If any questions like that are asked, feel free to read them out loud, please.
Reading? You expect me to read?
Well, considering that your eyes are barely doing anything else because you're walking around in the Safari Zone, yes.
It's insane.
Although, actually, I can probably exit Halo now. I've finished the weekly PvP challenges, and I'm not counting the one where I have to get 3 environmental kills because that's
you know what I could do? If you stream on Discord Halo, I could have a little box on the bottom of like my screen that's just you playing Halo.
Whatever.
Just Parker Cam.
Parker Cam. Let me find. Here, I'm done with it. I've been playing Halo all day, so let me find something else. But I will absolutely do that.
Okay, it'll take me a bit to set up.
All right, go for it. You have time to set it up. I'm gonna.
All right.
Find something to.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Stream's gone.
Oh, do you have to have the actual window first?
I do need to see what you're doing.
Yeah.
How do you feel if they added class-specific boons? Forget what boons are. What are?
Boons aren't really anything like super special. It's just like a boon is something. It's basically a reward for doing a thing, like literally anything. It's basically a reward that's not an item. It's not a spell. Not stuff like that. It's just essentially a innate magical power that your character now has. That sort of thing. And they can also take different forms. It's very abstract what they are. But I think it would be cool. The reason I think they won't do that is just because that's kind of what invocations are for the Warlock, and if you give that to everyone, then the Warlock becomes significantly less special.
But with feats, they did give it to everyone.
Yeah, but feats are different, because feats you have to sacrifice an ASI for.
Yeah.
Now, if they did class-specific feats, I'd be interested. I think that would be really cool. Because feats are unique enough in the sense that they cost an ASI to take. That you could absolutely do that for everyone, because they already did racial-based feats.
Not anymore, because I don't know how to do any of this shit with channel points and just transfer it to fish food for some of the stuff. So
Channel
I'll just
points is
leave.
a whole different ball game.
It really is. It's annoying that I can't manage both of them in the same.
It's a nice shiny number until we figure out something to do with
So
it.
have fun with it. If you want to subscribe and get Naboris to go on other streams, you can.
You can do that.
All right, let's see if I can catch. Here's a trick that you can do to save money. Pokemon. Oh, hey, there's Dodrio. You can just look in a direction while standing in a patch of grass, and the game's
Wait,
like.
Daniel, what do you mean getting a plus into stealth checks is not social? Theory to move speed in its backseat is not social. What do you mean?
What do you mean by special?
Because I would consider getting a plus 10 to stealth checks quite special.
It's pretty special.
That's a spell, and also
All right.
they seem really good. Yeah, they are good. They are very, very good.
Let me know when you're doing your thing, by the way, Parker. When you figure it
I
out.
haven't figured it. I have not figured it out yet. You know what? I'll shoot the shit in Risk of Rain. Why not? I
Okay,
can waste hours in that game.
one down. Many
One
to
down.
go.
I need to go.
Even while eating or sleeping, one of the pets remains always vigilant for any signs of danger. When threatened, it flees at over 60 miles per hour. Yeah,
Roadrunner.
Doduo, run. I like reading them because it gives context for Pokeroll when they do some stupid thing. Like, you just see as Doduo sprinting past a car down the road while we're walking or something.
You ready for the Poke races, Kai?
I don't know. Who's the fastest Pokemon I have at the moment? Probably Freya, right? Technically. For riding, at
Buggerel?
least. Here's the thing. Naboris can't carry me right now.
No.
I don't think he's too clumsy of a flyer right now. He only just got his wings. Carver physically could carry me. I think he could probably do it. He's strong. But he also can't fly.
Just wrap you in his arms like a baby.
That's the other thing. He's not really big enough. God knows Eerie can't do it.
No, you'd crush that poor bunny.
And I had to wait until Guy was fully evolved until he can carry me. So it's just Freya.
Is taking the feat alert worth getting up +2? Well, see, here's for a monk rogue. Here's the question I have: What's your current dexterity score for that monk rogue?
All right, now let me see.
Because that matters quite a lot.
Oh, there's not a Doduo.
And also, what level is your monk rogue?
Yeah, wait, let me...
18. Yeah. Again, I want to know what level.
At source.
Your dex score is 16. If your dex score is 16 at level 10 on a monk rogue, no, you absolutely need the dexterity.
Oh, that's big. Okay.
At level 10, you definitely need to be higher than a 16. Or you just can put a little subtitle that says Parker Cam.
Yeah, give me a sec. I'm about to add text.
Okay.
Let me know if that's big enough, by the way. I can't really tell on my thing because I can't full screen it.
Calm down.
I would 100% say go for the dex. Of course, here's the thing. I'm also a person that I think feats are cool. I don't use them as much as other people because I like increasing the number. I think increasing your statistics is far more effective than most feats. Like, I'd say there's only 1 or 2 feat combinations that actually are powerful enough to say, no, that's powerful enough to say, yeah, I can take these no matter what my current scores are. And that's like stuff like Great Weapon Master plus Polearm Master. That's eternally broken, and everyone knows that.
I still like Observant.
Servant's cool, but if you're a rogue monk at level 10 who has a 16 to dexterity, you need the +2.
That's true.
You definitely need the +2.
Right.
Because at that level, there's going to be some stuff that starts really having some good perception checks.
The Parker cam is set up.
Parker cam set up. Okay.
Oh yeah, giraffe rig. That spells giraffe rig backwards.
What?
Giraffe rig backwards is giraffe rig.
Lovely.
There's one of 4 Pokemon that does that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for this knowledge. Wait, hold on. Do I have any?
No, don't leave me. No! The giraffe left me. I think giraffe rig's such a cool idea that they just flopped on. It could have been a dark and psychic type, right?
Mm-hmm. Wait, what's the idea?
Well, it's that forwards and backwards, but the back half is evil.
Oh.
The tail has a mind of its own and is evil, so it could have been dark and
Imagine
psychic.
that. You remember that one boss you fight in Brawl in Super Smash Bros. Brawl on Meta Knight's ship?
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that would be cool.
I'm still convinced that was just a reference to Diamond and Pearl. Because it had the same exact color scheme. And it came out at the same time as Diamond and Pearl. Along with Lucario. Made it into Brawl.
Yeah.
I still need to hope that we make it to level 16 so I can get that last point of wisdom.
I
love how like a nice sixth of my screen is going to be covered by you playing Risk of Rain, and this is still technically a Pokemon Emerald stream. I just don't have anywhere else I can put that thing.
Yeah. Hey, Pokemon Emerald is most of the screen.
Yeah, actually, you know what? I can move it. Hold up. I realize I can just do this.
Resident Delta or Scorched.
Actually, no, the alert box is there. Oh, I can't put it there. Never mind.
I'm gonna go for 100. I'm gonna try an 100% Huntress.
Yeah, no, I'll just keep it here then. Alright, Wobbuffet. Too bad it doesn't have lipstick in this game.
I think it's quite the good thing that it has that. I'm gonna say, haha, that's a good thing.
No, Wobbuffet! Oh. I kind of made a deal with the DM that in the future there's a possibility I could get a 3.5 magic item that can give up to +6 dex.
What?
That's a wait, +6 modifier or score? There's a
That's probably score.
I hope so.
That's
still a lot.
That's incredibly powerful.
Score. Okay, score. Still a +3 to dex is still a lot. Most magic items only go up by like 1 or like 2 points.
The most any usual magic items go up is 3. That's like legendary level items. I'm gonna say +6 is kind of insane, but like if you've worked something out with your DM where you're gonna get that, then I would say you never need to worry about dex again because that's so powerful that you could basically just build a different character.
There's 3 variants at +2, +4, +6, so you're just...
Okay, I'm also going to say 3.5 and 5e are balanced very differently in terms of how high the numbers go.
They are not the same system.
It's up to your DM.
And we have no say. If he agrees to it.
If he agrees... Yeah, there's the thing. If he's going to give you that, that's very powerful, and you never need to worry about your dexterity score, ever.
No, giraffe, don't leave me. Okay, it's still watching me. Hey, Jimmy.
Attention New Yorkers. Keep your friends safe when you're out. Wear a face covering. Whether it's 2 of you or a group
Okay.
of you.
Hey, Kai, if I decide to change games, if I open the other game before I close this one and just switch the windows, will it maintain your setup?
What you'd have to do is make sure the other game is open and then manually on Discord swap.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Then yes, it would be fine. I have it just full screen capturing everything. This giraffe does not want to stay in the ball. I want the giraffe.
We're doing all right, Jimmy. We're doing all right.
Can
We're just hanging out. We're all here to support Kai.
No one
And
remembers
Dividend.
Giraffe Rig, do they?
No, God, it's very forgettable.
Like, I don't even think I've looked at what its stats are on Pokeroll, even though I've looked through the fucking handbook 20 trillion times.
Yeah.
I've used one, actually. I used it in Platinum. It died on the first Elite Four because I had to fill a spot in my party. It died on the first Elite Four. I was like, well, there goes all that
Okay,
training.
They're not great. They're very average.
Yes, I can. I am very aware. They suck. They're cute. They suck. I caught one right now. That's another one down. Two sevens. Now we just need to get to 777. A giraffe rig is an herbivore. It eats grass and tree shoots. While it is eating, its tail makes chewing and swallowing motions as if it were also eating. That's actually adorable.
I was gonna say gross.
Why is it gross?
Full Deck is a fungus fan apparently.
Actually, there was in the recent tournament for Pokemon, the winner had a Amoonguss that it used to win the match. So they had an event where you could get a shiny Amoonguss in Sword and Shield with the same moveset and like stats and everything. So now I have.
That's cool. To essentially have your Pokemon put in the game.
I think it's the second time they've done something like that. When someone won the World Cup basically for competitive Pokemon, with Apache Risu, they made a plush.
I'm sorry, what?
Yes. So what happened was it was super cool. I never watched it, but it came out afterwards that basically it was like a fucking Garchomp, Groudon, like whatever, some like and Hydreigon, like A tier Pokemon, and he just threw in a little Pachirisu, and it managed to tank a fucking Draco Meteor because it used Follow Me, and it lived with like 1 health, and he won the match because the little Pachirisu lived with 1 health.
That's insane.
So they commemorated it by releasing a special Pachirisu like plush. It was in like the final match.
Sometimes they can do cool things, I suppose.
If you had another job you can apply for, gonna finish the application tomorrow. Oh, that's pretty good.
Where the hell am I going again?
Where are you going?
I'm looking for the teleport schwa.
Oh boy. Of course, I caught the 2 most common things you can find in the first and second area instantly.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Pachirisu. I like that little favorite electric squirrel.
Well,
Electric rodent.
Pachirisu is among the champions of Pokemon right now.
What a god. So why did that person have a Pachirisu on their team?
I think I don't know, actually. Like, I don't know competitive Pokemon, but I assume had something just to do with a Pokemon that you don't plan for. Because everyone plans to see a fucking Dragonite, Groudon, whatever.
Yeah.
But sometimes you don't.
No one plans to see a Pachirisu.
You don't. And you're not really sure when you see that in a competitive match, you're like, I don't know what this thing has on it. I don't know what moves it knows.
You're like, huh. I feel like I shouldn't be afraid, but at the sto time I don't know what's about to happen, and that's terrifying.
Well, he should have been afraid, apparently. Little electric squirrel managed to save managed to save the match.
Yeah. What a god.
Now give me Psychic Bird. Here we go. Okay. I just need Pikachu, and then I'll just leave this area. I'll not even bother trying to catch Gloom and Wobbuffet. It runs up short trees that grow on the savannah to peck at new shoots. A Natu's eyes look as if they are always observing something. Always.
I've seen shit.
It is always watching.
Kai, look how many items I got off the first stage of this.
Oh, There's small icons on my screen. It's smaller than like even
Yeah,
on stream.
I've gotten 5 items off first
Goddamn.
stage. Yeah, it's a good one.
So Parker, now knowing this, should I go for the alert feat? I think it would work really well with my assassinate ability for the assassin rogue, where I get an advantage on anyone who has not taken a turn yet. Also, I can't be surprised by assassin rogue can't get an auto crit.
I mean, yeah. Here's the thing: if you're gonna get that item, absolutely take the alert fee. I don't see why you would ever take +2 dex if you're getting that item guaranteed.
It's a Pikachu! Who's that Pokemon? Oh! It's Jigglypuff.
Classic.
This Pikachu might get away. Oh man! Keep watching. Follow the Pokeball. Come on.
Pikachu, Jigglypuff, fuck!
Optimized combat all you like. Actual combat with difficulty and meaning was never going to happen anyways. Yeah. That is why I like the Observant feat, 'cause it's fun just to have.
Combat and difficulty and meaning was never going to happen anyways. Yeah. Yeah.
That's also why I don't always just... I don't like making a character that just does one thing for combat, because it's like, well, what am I going to do the rest of the time? It stores electricity in the electric sacs on its cheeks. When it releases pent-up energy in a burst, the electric power is equal to a lightning bolt. How standard.
I do think that the Assassin Rogue is underrated, though. It can do some very cool things, and it offers a very unique way of playing the game, of just essentially ending combat. As long as you approach your target correctly, you can end combat before it even starts. So you actually get to feel like the assassin style of rogue,
Forgot to put down.
instead of just the lull damage rogue,
Uh,
which is every other rogue.
Okay, I'm basically done with Area 1 and 2, so where's Area 3?
By the way, it was really funny because just last week my players finally got to see the extent to which the rogue has like. Okay,
Well,
there's
thanks for
like
following, by the way.
there's like 2 halves of my group
Mm-hmm.
that Kai and Abby are in. There's the half that is there's the side of it that is very we have the whole scale. The side of it that's very mechanical and knows what classes are like, has looked at a lot of things, likes to look at things like that, and that's pretty much Kai. Kai's that end of the spectrum for me. He's probably the most of that. Then we have the other end of the spectrum of people who, which is probably Lee, who have absolutely no idea even what their own abilities are most of the time, but they just play the game and think about what they want to do, and then worry about the mechanics of what they want to do later, or ask, hey, so if I want to do this, what do I need to do? And it's like, oh, roll this, or do this, or you have this power. It works out like fairly well. Okay, well, it works out fairly well.
By the way, it run's going pretty good. That was 80 Pokemon.
Yeah. But so we have like Lee's playing a rogue, and we're at like level 12 right now.
Yep, we're at level 12.
And Molly's also on that side of the spectrum of like doesn't really think about the classes and the mechanics of the game, but more thinks about the story and character building as their driving force. So I'm like, I like that. I like having that as a player as well. But there was a moment where
I think I know what you're gonna say.
Yeah, because good old reliable talent's still a thing for rogues, where if you don't know what reliable talent is, it is any skill with which you are proficient, you can treat any roll of the d20 that is a 9 or lower as a 10. Given the fact that every rogue in the known universe probably has not only proficiency but expertise in stealth, that basically means you cannot roll below 20 to 23 sometimes on stealth as a rogue. Even if you get a nat 1, that's still like a 23. And there was a moment where the big red number came up, which on Roll20 means you rolled a 1, but it was a 20. And Molly just looked at Lee and said, hey, actually, fuck you. Rogues are so stupid.
I posted that picture on Twitter, too, so it wants to look through my media. You can find it.
Someone who does not care or pay attention to the balance of power with classes declared that rogues are bullshit. And I'm like, yes, they are.
So meanwhile, I'm playing a cleric with every spell in the game.
Oh god, it was really funny though. Like, I've never seen Molly react that way to anything, and that made me laugh. That got me real good.
I just realized I don't think anyone in stream knows who Molly is, because Molly's not in either of the Pokemon games.
Yeah. Molly's just another player in our group. One of our friends. She's the one person in our friend group who gives negative shits about Pokemon, so she's not in either of the Pokemon games.
I am now looking for the 5% Golduck. Be prepared to stream to see so many ducks. Imagine just this pond, just full to the brim of Psyduck. That's what I'm currently swimming in right now.
Well, here's the other thing, Daniel. The combination of rogue and anything that you can pass off with Dex that offers either damage or an amount of defense, because honestly the rogue doesn't need more damage. It is really powerful.
That isn't water, that's just Psyduck.
There's a reason that the Rogue Paladin is one of the most powerful things in the game currently.
Smite.
Add that smite damage to a sneak attack, or the assassin, where you can guarantee yourself criticals. Yeah, it gets real stupid real quick.
Rogues.
That's just rogues in general.
Just rogues.
Just rogue things.
Hashtag just rogue things. Why isn't Psyduck a psychic type? No one knows.
Because Psyduck, psychic duck.
But it's not a psychic type.
Because Psyduck, psychic duck.
I think Parker's in denial.
Psyduck.
I just don't get it, because like its Dex entry talks about its amazing psychic abilities, and like in the anime it has it and it can learn psychic type moves, all of them, like psychic and confusion and all that. It's not a psychic type. It's just a water type.
Hi.
Just a water type. Eventually they're probably gonna make like a regional variant. Like where it's actually a psychic type and everyone's just gonna be like, so why wasn't the original one? What makes this more psychic?
No, what they're gonna do is the regional variant's not gonna be a water type.
Oh my
fucking duck.
Probably. My strongest Pokemon. Who is my strongest Pokemon right now? It's technically an Aborus, but it's probably a Thunderman.
What, in Pokerole?
I think he's just talking about Emerald right now.
Oh.
My Swampert or my Vibrava, but I think my Swampert's stronger.
Who's your weakest Pokemon in Pokerole?
Battle-wise or just points-wise? Because
in your opinion.
In my opinion, it's Eerie, just because I haven't trained Eerie to battle. Just like, Eerie knows some moves and has some points in fight, but it's more of a stats Pokemon at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
And it knows a damaging move other than Metronome, so. Who other than Eerie then? Here's the thing, all my Pokemon are actually got a good point now. It used to be Giyu, but ever since he evolved, he's good now. It might be Naboris, actually. How difficult do you feel monks are to understand? I spent the time learning it, so I feel like I understand it pretty well.
Not at all. I would say monk. I am of the opinion that monk is the most beginner-friendly class in the entire game, even more so than fighters.
If you look, monks aren't paperwork. Clerics and druids are paperwork.
Mm-hmm. I think monk is. I'm of the camp that monk is very simple to understand because they have very few things to actually manage. They have their martial arts die, which is pre-calculated. They have their AC, which is pre-calculated. They have their key. The key is the only thing. Key and what you spend on is the only thing you actually have to manage as a monk, because everything else is quite literally pre-calculated. And the other reason it's really easy, you don't need to pay attention to a lot of the systems that are in the game, like honestly, loot. You don't need any loot at all to function as a monk, to do everything that you need to do, because you don't need armor, you don't need weapons. Like legitimately the only things weapons do for you is if you get a +1 to +3 magic item, it'll obviously give you those bonuses. But it's not even that good for you because most of your attacks are going to be unarmed anyways, with your martial arts powers.
Whether it's 2 of you or a group of you, whether you're
So I would say monk is very easy to understand.
What's the easiest
played
class?
I played 2.
I mean, other than fighter.
Yes. Well, no, I'd say it's easier than fighter.
No, I said what's the easiest?
For more information, visit
Monk.
Okay.
I firmly believe monk is the easiest class. Because even with fighter, see, here's the thing. Fighter is like, yes, in a vacuum, if we're just comparing all the classes, yes, fighters are the easiest. I mean, fighters are the simplest in terms of you can be a champion fighter and just run forward and hit. But that's not usually how D&D plays out. With a fighter, positioning is a lot more important because you have a lot less to fall back on than a monk. Also, with a fighter, fighters are extremely, extremely, extremely gear dependent. Even if we're not talking about magic items, you need to go buy that plate armor. You need to go get that great sword. Or that shield and sword, or Morning Star, or whatever your weapon of choice will be. Monks don't need to worry about any of that. And also, a monk can jump in. For the most part, a monk can jump into a group of 3 enemies, and there's a number of ways that they can be totally fine.
Here's the thing, Full Deck, with you and wizards, I say that about sorcerers, but I feel like I've been told by Abby, because she doesn't like sorcerer because of the meta magic and sorcery points. I don't have an issue with it. I think it's the simplest thing.
Well, it's also, I'll ask you this, Full Deck, how many times have you played a wizard? Or how much do you look at wizards? Not even how much time do you play them, how much time do you spend looking at them?
God, this Rhyhorn hates me. Another Pokemon
I guarantee you,
if I threw a rock at, would just skewer me.
I guarantee you, Kai knows inside and out how sorcerers work because it's his favorite class. So he spent a lot of time looking at sorcerers. And I'll agree, wizards are like not super complicated to understand. A wizard is as complicated as their spells. There's very few wizard subclasses that complicate the class.
Once it starts running, it doesn't stop. Its tiny brain makes it so stupid that it can't remember why it started running in the first place. There you go.
Okay.
They're fucking dumbasses.
Why am I running again? I'm just gonna keep going, and maybe I'll figure it out along the way.
I actually really like Rhyhorn and Rhydon. I just don't like Rhyperior at all.
I don't think anyone likes Rhyperior. I've never met someone who thinks that Rhydon to Rhyperior was a good thing.
You know, okay. I looked at Pokemon because I was just like, it's one of the Pokemon I've considered because I love Rhydon. I just think it looks sick.
Yeah.
The only difference between a Rhydon and a Rhyperior. So a Rhyperior has, I think, 1 more point in base HP.
Okay.
And it can learn new moves with its evolution in tutor moves. And that's it. So if you're fine just being down 1 health and you don't care about the moves, you could just use a Rhydon.
Yeah.
There's no downside other than that. Kensei monks don't even need a magic item because of Sharpen the Blade, which lets you add up to 3 key points as a magical enchantment on a Kensei weapon equal to the number of key points used. But
Yeah,
it's not right.
legitimately, monks need nothing. In a vacuum, a monk will play exactly the same as they do in practice.
That's why when you asked for magic items, I went with the immovable rod. The immovable rod is the best item.
Wait, who has a movable rod?
Me is Rain.
Oh yeah, that's right. It's a funny one.
It's a classic. Also, Full Deck Hat doesn't play wizards too often, really. It's mostly rogues and druids before quarantine hit.
Oh yeah. Still, wizards are like wizards are not
bitch.
super. In terms of the magic classes, wizards are not super complicated.
I have 5 Safari Balls to catch this pincer. Let's hope RNG.
My personal opinion of the magic classes in 5th edition. My personal opinion, and this might be considered a hot take as we get farther into it. I think that the Warlock, the Sorcerer, and the Wizard are well designed. And the Bard. I almost forgot about the Bard. The Bard and the Sorcerer kind of go hand in hand because they're very identical in their structure.
I'm going to throw... Oh, well, I was going to throw a rock, but then I couldn't.
But I think that the Druid and Cleric are poorly designed in the long run.
Such bitches. No, I'm not even talking about what you're saying. It's just the
I know, I was
pincer
watching. I was watching. I believe that the Druid and Cleric with their prepared spell style is, at the best of times, it's overbearing, and it makes it where you can't think about your character that much because you are constantly thinking about your spell list and trying to remember what every single spell that you have, which is all of them. And at the worst of times, they are inhibiting to actually playing your character just because you wanted to play the holy spellcaster or the natural spellcaster. Like Abby was asking before, like, hey, is there what are the nature magic classes? And I said, really, like, there other than some outliers, druids kind of got nature magic on lock. Like, there's nature cleric, ancient's paladin. Other than that, there's not really anything else. So then you get locked into playing that way. And then you think to yourself, okay, well, what if I just treat it kind of like a normal one, and I say, okay, I'm going to pick my set of spells and be like, okay, that's it. It might be suboptimal, but I'm just going to take it. Well, I'm going to say, that's not only suboptimal, that's near impossible because they balanced all the spells to be weaker individually than other classes' spells because you have access to them at all times, so it makes it very difficult to just hold on to the same group all the time. Prepared spellcasting is detrimental to the game.
My recommendation, as a person that plays Cleric right now, and have been for over a year now, have a set of spells that are your character spells, the spells that your character is known for, and have an other set that is just, I'm going to swap these out for whatever I want. Because I always have, for Ava, for my nice Cleric, always trying to help people and keep the party safe, I have Raise Dead, I have Cure Wounds, Mass Healing Word, Greater Restoration, Lesser Restoration. 5 spells. Those are the ones that just, at all times, have them on hand. The other, like, however many, is the ones I'm like, I don't know, maybe I want to be ready for combat, I'll swap it out. And I don't think about, beyond that, I don't think about the character limitations. Because those 5 are what I'm known for, and the others are just for me as a player. That's how I would treat it if you were going to play a Cleric. And that's worked for me. Because I've stopped stressing nearly as much because now I'm not worried about staying in character with spells. Where does this bitch go? There we go. Alright. I think that's everything I had. Now I gotta go back in, brave the Safari Zone yet again. Tell me how far... Sorry, I missed a lot of what was said because of that talk.
They're talking to each other.
Okay. Just making sure. Okay. Let's do... What do I have left to catch? I still need to catch. Fuck, I still need to catch all those. Okay. I don't need these. Oh. Sub? Hold up.
Hold
Voldeck, thanks for the sub. Oh, Sakai gifting the sub. Never mind, I had to rechat. Thanks for the gifted sub, Sakai. Now Voldeck has access to Naboris legit.
For realsies.
Actual Naboris. Still sad, because in this timeline he hasn't evolved. But don't worry, he made it.
He lost his signature noise, though.
He sure did. Lost it. Okay, wait. Where am I?
He may never again.
He might not. Up here. Oh, need the acro bike. Fuck. Alright, I gotta head back to zone 3 then. I'll just spend the rest of this little bit trying to catch Pinsir. Then I'll have to swap out for a new bike, because my bike sucks. Relieve my tired feet. Hello, sir. My feet are tired.
Your feet's.
My feet.
Well, here's the sleep shop's answer.
Found out I'm getting back 3.5k from tax returns, so I'm feeling charitable. Dang.
Well done.
That's a good amount of money. Where am I right now?
Oh.
Well, here's the sleep shop's answer.
Noise.
Well done.
Okay. I don't want you. Well, I could catch you though. Is it worth it to try? Why not? They'll probably run away if I don't. There you go. Ah, fuck. Here's a question. So, I decided that instead of double blade scimitar, just because we're now using witchblade, so I don't need to use that weapon anymore, that I'm basically choosing between the funny image of having a giant strength weapon, but I am a small 0 strength modifier person, basically, with witchblade. So now I'm like, do I go for the great sword? The great axe? The battle axe?
You can.
I'm trying to think, because...
Most hexblades who opt for a Pact of the Blade build, where you're depending on summon weapons, they do greatsword.
Yeah. It's honestly just for the image at this point, which one I want to do.
I mean, it's greatsword to great axe is what you're talking about is either 2d6 or 1d12. So then you're asking, do you want a bell curve, or do you want a linear line of chance?
I always like the bell curve, but
then
Man.
you want the great sword.
The axe is a funnier image, unfortunately.
The axe is quite a funny image. If you think people were going to call you anime before, you're going to be very anime now, being a scrawny ass girl holding a giant axe.
Yep.
That's the definition.
I like the great sword for theme of just being like a knight, basically.
Mm-hmm. You said that unlike Hexblade, the Witchblade, you don't get any bonuses up to your weapons, do you?
No.
That you summon.
So basically, the weapon, if you want to summon, is just a magical weapon. So if you ever get a magical weapon that you like better, there's no downside to just using that instead of your summoned weapon.
That's good, because the creator also said that you're still intended to be a full caster just with melee capabilities. So
really
you're
is.
still not the Hexblade.
That's why I basically was asking Abby like what spell I should use for a damage spell, because by the time I'm 6th level, I need one that I just cast to kill, because that's the whole point. You cast a spell and then you have the weapon as an extra. So I was deciding between the classic Fireball, Thunderbolt, or Lightning Bolt, I mean. Erupting Earth was a good one.
That's a good one.
And there was Chaos Bolt, but upcasting Chaos Bolt isn't good.
Chaos Bolt's... here's the thing. The novelty of Chaos Bolt takes away from its damage, which means it does start to lag behind in damage rather quickly.
Adding a d6 by upcasting is not a lot.
No, it's not. I'm a Lightning Bolt fan myself. It's literally just Fireball but a line, and I like that better.
I like Erupting Earth just because of the difficult terrain I create. But Lightning Bolt is good, and I wouldn't have to risk... It would be easier to not kill my friends that are...
Remember, you said you're looking for a kill spell.
I know, that's what, like, they're all the spells I said are all killing spells. It's just the effects, basically, that I'm deciding between. The straight line it's either between straight line, AoE, or difficult terrain, because Erupting Earth is still 3d8.
It's okay.
And
it's not the ridiculous 8d6 of the other two.
You got me there. Might go with Lightning Bolt. I have it until when I'm playing the character until level 6 to think about it, because I'm not going to get the damage spell until then. There's no
also
point.
haven't until whenever the hell we decide to start that campaign, which is who knows.
Because technically I get the bonus action either way by doing cantrips, so...
Which again, remember the calculations I showed you for using Booming Blade?
Yeah, that's the one I'm going to start with.
Do that.
I have Booming Blade, what was it? Burst Blade? What was the
You chose Blade Burst.
Blade Burst.
Sword Burst.
Sword Burst, that was it. Booming Blade,
Yeah,
Sword Burst,
you chose
Lightning
your two melee cantrips to be Sword Burst and Booming Blade.
Yeah, I'd like to point out to the fucking everyone that this Dodrio is eating all of my Safari Balls and then just sprinted away after taking like 20 of them.
What an asshole.
What a fucking asshole. So have you thought about streaming the normal D&D campaign? We've
thought about it. We're probably not going to do it.
Probably not. Here's the thing. It comes down to two things. The first, it's a lot more work. John Parker's part specifically. But also, I don't like the idea of streaming everything I do.
Also, we would have a lot of problems with copyrights. Because listen, all my NPCs, they're just created from me patrolling Pinterest and looking for art.
Yeah. So...
Like, Pokeroll already kind of has that problem, but we're not big enough yet that anyone's claimed anything against us.
With Pokeroll, I try and only keep it up for like a few seconds.
Yeah.
I don't maybe it's also why we don't see Carver and Eerie in too many battles. But, I try and avoid it with Pokeroll.
But yeah, if that answers the question, we're probably not. Like, if it's up to me, we're not going to stream the other games.
I think one day I still want to stream a D&D campaign, but maybe when we're done Pokemon.
Hey, you could stream your Pyro one.
I could. I don't want to stream when I'm DMing.
Wait, so you want to stream when I'm DMing?
Yeah, you're good at it.
Okay, let's not get ahead of ourselves here.
How dare I compliment you?
It's uncomfortable when you do that. It's not how our natural order works.
Fuck you.
Eat shit and die.
Yes, well, fuck you. One of my go-to spells is Spider Climb, but I was just thinking... Well, okay, here's the thing with the Witchblade I was talking about, assuming that's what you're still talking about. I already have Shield. This is all at the level we're starting at. I have Shield, Mirror Image, Silent Image, and Darkness. I have a lot of spells to keep me alive. I'm not worried about that. And then for RP, there's still Silent Image, and I'm planning on getting Counterspell, and then... God, I have, like, a bunch of cantrips that I can use for that, too. I'm planning on getting, like, Mold Earth, so I'm not... I got a lot. I'm not worried about RP.
You just reminded me. You know what the 18th level ability is for all wizards?
What was it? Oh yeah, isn't that when you get to cast like an early spell just for free?
You choose one first level spell and one second level spell, and you can now cast those spells at will. And I think on a long rest you can switch what they are.
Nice.
So I just want to remind you, Mirror Image qualifies for that, so you can just constantly have a bunch of clones of you walking around.
If only it worked as freely as like Mislead.
What do you mean?
Where you actually got to control where they went and everything.
Yeah.
Pincer's a 5% encounter rate, but he's a 1% asshole.
Alright. Getting them some heated words.
I'm just saying. This is the second run in the Safari Zone. Don't think I've caught a thing. I have encountered 3 already, and I haven't caught a single one. When I'm out of this, I'm probably gonna have to go... Oh wait, I can't until I'm done catching Pinsir! I need the Mach Bike to get to Area 3, which has Pinsir in it, and I need the Acro Bike to get to Area 4, which has Heracross in it.
Unfortunate.
Yeah, this is why I brought you along, Parker.
Could be here a while.
This is gonna be a while. So far, I have a single 30% encounter left at Area 4, and that's Fanfi. Fanfi's cute. I like Fanfi.
I like Fanfi.
People don't use it too often. But...
Fanfi was on my top Pokemon list. My top 50.
I actually think people don't use it because Game Freak refuses to put it in easy to catch areas. It's always like so obscure and like hard to find. I don't think you could catch Fanfi in Gold and Silver. You could only catch it, or at least early on in Gold and Silver. You can only catch it early on in like Crystal.
I want to know why it loses its fun colors when it evolves.
I don't know. I still like it. It's fun. And it's unique. It's just a pure ground type, which is not really common actually. To stay pure ground all the way through. Yeah, I know. It's crystal and early on. I meant that's what I was saying. Gold and silver you can only get it late, I think. Or maybe even not at all. My favorite spell combo is Mold Earth and Conjure Lesser Elemental. Can anyone guess why? It seems like there's going to be some complicated thing going on there that my brain won't get.
I don't got nothing on that.
I'm only choosing Mold Earth for my next cantrip just because I already have Prestidigitation and Minor Illusion. I got 5 Safari Balls left and I'm saving it for one Pinsir that's not going to get caught. The cave was actually Dunsparce, I think. I know what cave you're talking about. I think that's Dunsparce. I think Teddiursa you catch on a route south of the Dragon Gym. Here's the thing. I've never played Gold, Silver, Crystal. I think it's the only generation I never played. Because I played Yellow, and then obviously I played 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I've just never played Gen 2. I've played Heart Gold and Soul Silver, but that's Gen 2-ish. That's Gen 2 if you had Platinum.
Gen 2-ish. Gen 4 remakes when?
Hopefully on Pokemon Day. I'm pretty sure we're at the point when Game Freak is getting antsy. With only Snap coming out.
I'm serious when I say the worst case scenario is that we get a Gen 9 announcement.
Yeah. I would actually genuinely rather get nothing.
Yeah, I would rather them just talk about Pokemon Snap than get a Gen 9.
Because then it's like, okay, at least they're working on whatever the fuck they're making. So I'm like, I'm good with it. Whatever. I'd rather not just like, here's your next generation. And we're just like,
I'd be like, okay, well, say goodbye to all the potential of Gen 8 that is, I feel like it's not done yet.
Gen 8 was actually getting really cool. It's definitely up there. It's made it, in my opinion, Gen 8's with the Ground Tundra passed Gen 1 in my ranks of generations.
Mm-hmm. You mean it has more than 3 mechanics, so it passed Gen 1?
Well, I just like Gen 1 because it started it all, but it was really basic.
Yeah.
We did have Let's Go, but I'd take that as a spin-off. I don't think about it like that. That's why I like Let's Go because I didn't think about it as a spin-off. I thought about it like a fucking XD game or whatever. Or like a Ranger. It's like its own thing. It's pretty cool when you think about it like
It's weird
that.
though. It seemed almost like it seemed at some points Let's Go had more effort put into it than Gen 8.
Yeah. Because
That's
it had
weird.
the overworld Pokemon, and everyone was like, holy shit, this is gonna mean Gen 8's gonna have this. And then Gen 8 didn't have it. Well, it had it. I'm throwing some heavy quotations.
It half had it.
It kind of had, and everyone was like, wait, what?
Oh.
It's actually good because it had more post-game than base Gen 8, too.
You know what? You know what's just telling in Gen 8 where it's like Game Freak's like after the like in the base game, you're like, wait, you guys want your partner to walk around with you? I guess, and then you can do it in the fucking DLC zones now.
Wait a second, you guys like that feature as we've been saying it since fucking Heart Gold and Soul Silver came out? How long was that? Let me pull up a date. Make us feel old. Heart Gold.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
I'm gonna do it. Oh, you want to know the number?
Uh-oh.
Oh boy, it sure has been, what is that, almost 12 years.
You didn't need to tell me that.
Sure has.
You didn't need to go and tell me that.
But I did. Oh, you can use Mold Earth to get a block in place and then use Mud and Magma Mephites to turn it into Terracotta. That's actually kind of cool.
Okay. I dig it.
You'll take it. Well, yeah, that's pretty cool. You can make your own construction project.
You wanna know what's now possible for Pack of the Chain Warhawk since Tasha's came out?
What?
That's fucking wild. God damn it. So Pack of the Chains, like its whole thing is that you get a familiar, but you get a familiar that's better than the other familiars. You can make it like you can make it an imp, a Quasit, which is basically an imp without wings, a sprite, or a pseudo dragon. So that's always been there. What came out with Tasha's is the new invocations. One of them being, I forget the name of it, but it's basically an invocation it's Investment of the Chainmaster is what it's called.
Also, Daniel, that's a wizard studied for a long time.
Studied a long time. But yeah, so what it does is it basically makes your familiar combat ready. Like, they're still frail and not great. I think it improves their defenses a little bit somehow,
I'm
I
walking
think.
near the Dodrio. It's
Uh,
still touching me. I'm walking near
But one of the main things it does is
it.
you can use your bonus action to command your familiar to attack. So it's basically the Beastmaster mechanic you get it from Invocation. It's not like it's okay. Baseline is okay. It's like the thing that does the most damage is the imp, and it still doesn't do a lot of damage. Like it'll very quickly be not a great amount of damage. But the pseudo dragon has a sting attack. Now, do you know what that sting attack does, Kai?
No.
So you see, the sting attack, it makes it where when they hit them, they take damage and then they have to make a Constitution save. It's a fairly low one, and most monsters are pretty good at Constitution saves. I think let me look this up. I'm pretty sure the investment of the Chainmaster lets you change the save. Oh, D&D Beyond, why don't you make it easy to search stuff sometimes? Yeah, investment change time. And yeah, okay, so Invest in the Chainmaster also makes it where when your familiar enforces something to make a save, it uses your spell save DC number. So already, so a lot better. So that's like 16 or 17 on a con save. And every time they get hit with this sting attack, they have to make this con save. And what happens when they fail this con save? Like, eventually they'll fail it. So, first of all, they become poisoned for 1 hour, which is, as you remember from the Hellhounds fight, poison's a nasty condition.
Yeah.
It can make your life very painful.
Yep. Yeah, it can.
But that's not the creme de la creme. So, what happens if they fail to save by 5 or more? They are not unconscious instantly until something damages them or casts a spell on them.
Just like the coddles, the quetzals, the pretzels.
Yeah. Well, it's not even like those, because with those, that unconsciousness you could just be shaken out of. You cannot in this one. And I'm like, and the other thing, the Koados could do that once it was their dice. They had to roll a dice to get that ability back. The Pseudo Dragon can just do it every turn. And it's like, okay, so eventually this is going to land. So that actually made Pact of the Chain pretty interesting, since you can do stuff like that now. Which is good, because I like Pact of the Chain. I feel like whenever anyone makes a Warlock, they only consider Tome or Blade. But Chain has uses. Chain is real good. You can have a friend.
There's Pincer. Okay, how many times do I take a creeping step towards it? I go once. Still watching me. Do I go a second time? What do you guys think? One more time, Parker?
One more.
One more? He's still watching. I'm gonna throw a ball now. Right at his face. I hate him.
How'd it go, Kai? Not well.
Well, I mean, the creeping worked, actually. He didn't run away from that, surprisingly. I threw a ball, shook 3 times, and they broke out and ran. I just want... I have Pokemon I need. I have Pokemon I need from the zone. Hey, did you know that my character's wearing a hat?
Yeah.
Why is it white and it looks like hair? Is everyone's question.
I
I hate it. I was fine with it just being white hair. My brain didn't question it. I thought it was just anime.
Silly child.
He's wearing a wig.
He's wearing a wig. Answer me this. Why is the character's hair so crazy in Gen 5?
Is it? Maybe in black and white too. Kind of. Black and white 1, he's just wearing a cap. And has regular hair. Short.
Here's the thing. One of the female characters has whack hair.
It's definitely not the first one, because yeah, the first one still only just has like a big ponytail. The other one has buns with I think it's buns with long locks, I think. Let me pull it up.
Oh shit.
Yeah, she has 2 buns and long hair. It's definitely black and white too. That you're thinking of.
It's not in the like fully realized. I'm talking about in the small sprites. In one of the games, I just remember being like, "Wow, this is a lot. This hair is a lot."
I'd have to look in the games. It's been a while. Hey, John, how's it going? Ba 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 da ba da ba da ba da bap 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 bap. Welcome to the stream where I slowly lose my mind because this Dodrio is gonna eat 3 Pokeballs and then fucking leave. I walk near him. He's still watching me. I'm going to throw a ball. Okay, he didn't like that ball. But maybe he'll like this ball. Okay, he didn't like that ball. And then he ran away. I have 1 ball left. I'm gonna chance it. I'm gonna use the 1 Pokeball on whatever shows up that I need. It's totally gonna work, right?
Sure.
Yeah?
No.
Oh. What happens if I find a shiny Pinsir and then that runs away?
Then you cry and you turn off the stream.
I closed my eyes and opened and saw the silhouette of a Pinsir and I was about to have a heart attack like, no, did I just do this to myself? I'm gonna creep towards this Pinsir twice and then throw my last Pokeball at him. No, he ran away. He didn't like me. He thinks I smell.
He thinks I smell.
Alright. Second Pinsir. Let's go. I'm gonna go near him. Okay. He thinks I smell even worse.
Stop going near the pincers.
I have 1 Pokeball left.
They like being observed from a distance.
Well, maybe they shouldn't. Why do I have 2 notifications on Discord? What happened here?
Not from ours.
No, it is from ours.
Oh.
Oh, that's what Sophie's doing. Why doesn't she do that while talking to us? I can't believe this. She hates us.
Oh, it looks good though.
It does look good. But she hates us. I can't talk about what we were being shown, because that's definitely something we should at least not tell stream.
Mm-hmm. I like leaving it for the surprise.
Seeing as Parker's here, Mr. Cool Guy Parker, got any pro gamer tics for Roll20? Like, what do you mean? The actual like the actual website or 5e specifically? Oh wait, he's saying Risk of Rain 2. I can't read.
Of a Risk of Rain 2. Don't play with glass because I'm a masochist.
Look, I can't read. Chat, I know. I can't read chat. It's okay.
But what I do highly recommend is if you're trying to get used to the game and progress in the game, look at the artifacts and get I highly recommend getting the Artifact of Command and Artifact of Sacrifice, because when you put both of those on together, it makes the game a lot easier. Where instead of looking for chests, you're just killing enemies because they now have a chance to drop items. And then Command makes it where you have
what's going on in that chat?
You're allowed to choose what items you get. Just literally using those two will make anything you do a lot easier. And then other than that, go for specific builds. You will have a lot more success funneling towards something specific rather than like spreading out all the time. Oh, I'm so good. Another basic rule, if this is new news to you, if not, I apologize for mansplaining at you. If you're at least if you're playing on Monsoon, try to do every level in 5 minutes. That's about the progression curve, is 5 minutes per level.
Just need something new to show up.
Yeah. You struggling?
Yeah, I'm struggling. No! I don't care about this Oddish. Fuck off. Get out of here.
The Oddish just wants a home, Kai.
So what? I have like 4. There's only so much room in the box. You know, Pokemon anime got real basically it was kind of a jab, but it got real close to explaining how Pokeball works.
Did it?
All we know is something about light, converting to light. That's about all we got. And then they were like, no, we can't say this.
This is secret information.
Okay, Dodrio. I'm gonna walk close to it once.
Did it think you smell bad?
Not yet. Do I dare do it a second time? I already have 3 glooms though, Daniel. I'm ready for the Oddish evolution. I'm gonna throw the ball. Please, Dodrio. I love you. He got scared by my announcement, my proclamation of love. Oh. Alright, back in. I'm going to go broke.
Sophie responds wholeheartedly to Abby and then says, Kai, you'll get over it. I thought I could book us a celebrity guest for stream, but the celebrity guest backed out. I'm the best you have now. Damn. It's not great. It's not looking good. Your stream's gone downhill in quality if that's what's happening. How insane Mario X Rabbids Kingdom Battle is? It's a good game. It's weird because it is a good game, but when you see it, just like even just the cover art, it's like, what is the fuck is this? You're like, what am I looking at? Here's the thing, though. It's just an XCOM clone, but XCOM's a good game, so it's a good game. And they did a good job making it. Yeah. I need to put myself. It's a very peculiar situation. For some reason, I'm not in streamer mode on everything, so I gotta put myself on Do Not Disturb so I don't get pings. All right, this
Is
time
there
I
a,
finished first
a
stage.
versus seeker in this? I don't. Well, there kind of. The Pokenav
Hell, that noise.
in this game is the versus seeker, but it doesn't work the same way.
Guys, you just peek your mic because that was a lot of static that just came through once for like a split second.
Did I?
I don't know. It was like
wouldn't
made
know.
me jump a little bit.
I would not know.
All right, just continue as
anyways,
normal.
The Pokenav in this game is basically get people's numbers, you get to call them up, but there'll be a little exclamation mark next to them when they want to battle. So you can go, you basically just check who's ready to battle, and then flights a route to them instead of Pokenav where you walk near someone and just grind. So it's kind of like that. It's a different VS Seeker. Oh, there's no, these fucking...
Sounds like things are going well.
We started off stream strong. A little too strong. We peaked.
We peaked too early. We peaked. We didn't even peak in high school. We peaked in elementary school.
It's so sad. Hey, this is middle school at best. Come on. Back into the Safari Mines. I toil
A day
away.
in the mines.
Another day in the mines. One day. Is there a Safari Zone in the Chroma region?
Not that functions like that. Fuck that. Here's a question for you, Kai. I'm back on the subject of D&D. What is the worst race class combination for you personally to play? Like, if I was to give you a character, what would be the worst thing you could see?
Yeah, okay, you know what? Let me slap together some because there's probably a good answer. I mean,
Because I feel like you want to say human fighter, but in reality, you would play human fighter for a one shot and be fine.
I'm fine with human. Here, I'm thinking about it in literally just a separation of what's the worst class and what's the worst for me and what's the worst.
What's your
race.
least favorite race and your least favorite class?
And if you
and
slap them together,
I want a
it'll probably be the
subclass too.
worst.
I want a subclass too.
Okay. The
Probably a rogue.
worst. I mean, I played the rogue and I was fine with it. It was
Okay.
I don't really like barbarian.
Okay. That's fine.
Here, let me just think aloud. I don't like barbarian. I don't like monk. I'm kind of on druid. I think the others I'm fine with. I could even the wizard. I just think it's a bit much, but like it's a bit much for my brain, not the class itself. But I could do wizard. It's just those three that are like, So I think barbarian would be my least favorite. Because honestly, in any case, I'd rather just play a fighter. And then let me pull up races. It's probably no.
What subclass
but
of barbarian?
subclass of barbarian. Give me a sec to think of race, and I'll head back to that.
Okay.
But
We'll circle back around.
what is this? You know what? This doesn't sound like it's safe for Twitch. Oh, it is.
What?
I thought
What was it?
it's just another Hyper Potion song, but it sounded like it was a different person doing it, like an actual songwriter or song artist.
Oh.
I mean, it's probably no. I don't like short races. I'm gonna be honest. Or maybe
like
fucking
short races. Don't tell
drunk.
Molly.
Actually, I don't like. Well, I could probably play a goblin. I think it might just be the gnomes.
I think you'd enjoy a halfling.
I don't think I'd
These
enjoy
little
it.
stealthy dudes.
I don't think I'd like playing a halfling either. Between those
Yeah.
two, something about them. I don't like them.
Yeah. Do you have a short phobia?
Makes me feel like I'm playing a rat.
Hey, I think there needs to be an actual rat race. Like, I literally want this. Here's the thing. Hey, Warhammer needs to do a 5e expansion book because I want the Skaven so bad.
Also, for the 8-ball responses. I mean, if you guys give me some ideas to add to the 8-ball, I can make more responses. It's just hard to make it because it never fits the question. That's the thing with 8-ball. I can't. It's just a pool that it chooses from. I can't make it answer you genuinely. So it's never really gonna give you a good one. If you have some ideas for an 8-ball response,
Are you trying to tell me that magic 8-balls aren't real?
Chat, don't tell him Santa's not real either, please. We need to keep.
Wait,
the
what'd you
illusion.
say?
What? Nothing. Back to barbarian.
So a gnome barbarian. So Namfoodle.
Yeah, I wouldn't play Namfoodle. Okay, let me work backwards from my brain. I like Wild Magic because that was the only barbarian that I've been like, yeah, I do
Yeah,
that.
that's like you were excited about that one.
That one was cool. I liked Wild Magic. I also played the Totem Warrior because that's what I did.
Yeah.
Ka.
Yeah.
Ka?
Yeah, you played 2 barbarians, haven't you? Or no, well, you've made 2 barbarians.
I've made 2 barbarians. My God, this Dodrio fucking left instantly. Okay.
He was like, "Boom!"
Let me think. I think it might just be like the Berserker, because that's like the champion fighter to barbarians, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah,
You're just
it's
angrier.
the barbarian-y barbarian. Yeah, because like with Berserker, you get something beyond your normal rage mechanic. You get 1 Berserker rage, which gives you a point of exhaustion, but you do a lot of damage.
So it would probably be a Berserker no barbarian, because then I'd just be like, I don't like anything here.
You're just like, I hate myself. Wait, what were you? Wait, here's a question. What was your shifter in the Halloween game?
That was
What class was that a fighter?
I think actually that might have no, that was also a barbarian. It was another totem though, because I just made it more wolf.
Okay.
I like
so
totem and I like
a few
wolf.
barbarians. Yeah.
I guess you're right. Maybe barbarian isn't my least favorite class. Just
I was gonna say it sounded to me like barbarian's not your least favorite. You just there's barbarian subclasses you don't like a lot.
Yeah. Then, I mean, I've liked the idea of playing a druid, so I don't want to say that's my least favorite. So then I guess it just drops down to the
monk.
The monk.
You have 0 interest in playing a monk.
It's weird because again, I'm playing a monk. Rain's a monk.
Yeah, so you don't have 0. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna pause my game. We're gonna figure this out. All right. Give me okay. How about this? We're gonna do a 1. Just keep playing your game. We're gonna do a 1 to 10 rating on interest. Okay.
Why don't we just work backwards from what I've liked the most and then rank them? God,
well, because I want to do this because I think we've done that before. I want to do this. This is different. This is more interesting. I'm just we got hours to fill, man. We got content.
I'm fine with it. Keep to just go.
All right, so I'm just gonna do it. It's gonna end up being alphabetical order, just because I'm going down the list. Okay, on a 1 to 10, how interested are you in making and playing an artificer?
I'm already planning on doing that for Molly's. Actually, that's the number 1.
Just give me a number, man.
A 10? I like them. I've always liked them.
Okay, 10 is like super. I could make a ton of them, and I would love to play it.
Yeah.
1 is like I never want to touch it in my life.
Sure, I'll tone it down to like a 9.
Okay, barbarian.
I mean, evidently it's like a 3 or 2 because of the times I've played it.
Okay, and you can talk me through it if you wanted to.
It's okay. It's just inherently because I've obviously made them, and I like some of the subclasses. So I apparently don't hate barbarian, despite what I say.
Bard.
That one's definitely an 8. I've always wanted to play one. I just have better ideas all the time. Like I've always had an idea that is better than what I want to do with a bard, but I've always had it in the back of my mind.
So disregard. So when I ask cleric, I'll say like, how interested are you in playing cleric again?
Again?
Yeah.
I'll give that a solid 5, just middle of the road.
If you had to, you could do it.
I could do it. Because I would play Light Domain, because I really like Light Domain.
Light Domain is the wizard of clerics.
Yeah.
Blow shit up. Druid.
Wait, sorry. Dodrio has finally been caught. 82, chat. 82.
82. What's next?
Pincer's the only one left in this area.
All right,
Then
keep
I
hunting for that pincer.
Okay. Anyways, what was the next one you said?
The next one is druid.
That's a little under cleric because I've never really been a fan of nature-based classes other than like having pets, like with the ranger. So 3 or 4? It's one of those 2.
Ask what's the subclass that makes you have any interest in it at all? Because I know there has to be at least one, because otherwise it would just be a 1.
The Circle of Stars, the one that you were thinking about playing. I thought that was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Wildfire, which was the other one you talked about. Like those 2.
The 2 Tasha's one, basically, are
those
really cool.
Really cool. I've never really cared about the druid before those 2.
Yeah. Fighter.
Fighter?
Fighter's difficult because it's not actually not difficult. It's difficult to rate it low because here's the thing. I feel like there's a subclass for everyone in Fighter.
I will
Fighter's
put
got
it
a
at a
big
4
range.
because I know in my mind it's above Druid, below Cleric. Because I mean, again, what used to be the Witchblade was Fighter.
Yeah.
Why not
all
catch
right.
another duo and evolve it? Because I'm just going for catches and it's like in the way, so I might as well try and catch Dodrio. If it's there, I'll
Alright.
try.
So, it's probably going to be the roughest one. Monk.
If we're doing it based on making a character, if I had to.
Then we're talking about... I would say anything 5 and below is something that you would play in a one-shot. Anything above 5 is you'd be okay with playing this in a long-term campaign.
I will put that below Druid at like a 3 or 2. Because I like playing Rain, but Rain's unique and also in an improv game where I don't think about things that much.
You don't like playing the monk, you like playing the dragon.
I do like playing the dragon, it's fun. I didn't freak out, but I caught Pinsir.
Okay, nice. Well done.
I'm done with this area. 83.
How about
83?
How about the next one? I feel like we're about to shoot up a lot. The Paladin.
Oh boy, that was my first class. I like Paladin. That's gonna be at a 6. That's above Cleric.
Yeah. You'd play it for a long. You just barely play it for a long term.
Yeah, because there's still a lot you can do with a Paladin. It's still fun. But I think the only issue with Paladin is inherently, just in my mind, I feel a bit too restricted with how it is at the moment. Because I feel like I'm always a knight for something.
You feel like your RP is restricted.
Like you can be a knight for anything. I get it. I just don't. I don't want to feel like I have to be a knight.
Yeah, that's fair. That kind of inherently comes with the territory of the Paladin, doesn't it? As it is now, at least.
Because even with a fighter, you don't have to be like a hired. You can be a hired sword. You can be a guard. You can be
A fighter is just someone with skill.
Yeah, and then cleric, you don't really have to be a champion of your god. You just have to believe in what they stand for, and you can pretty much go any which way as long as you're independent.
You just got to be one of the one that drinks the Kool-Aid.
I could have made an evil Ava that still worships Ioun, and I would be like, okay, as long as you're vowing for freedom of knowledge.
Yeah. Ava's like, listen, I want to burn the souls of the innocent, but I still freedom of knowledge. Yeah,
Hey,
absolutely.
I'll teach people how to do it while I'm at it.
Yeah.
And I would be like, okay,
I mean, I guess that qualifies. You're hired.
sure, it works.
All right, here's one, Kai. How about a ranger?
Oh, I think that one's also at 6, maybe a little higher than Paladin. That's another one I've always wanted to do because I like pets. It's fun.
And now that they reworked the Beastmaster, you have even more reason to do it.
I'll waste away the movement, by the way, guys. That's why I haven't just retired immediately, searching for this Golduck.
All right, rogue.
To play another rogue.
And you didn't really get to play the first one that much.
I didn't, which is why it's hard to think of like if I liked it enough to want to play it again.
Yeah.
I would say that one also might be out of 5. Just like a little under cleric.
Yeah.
Just because like if I had to, I could do it again. I'd probably flavor it a bit differently. It was cool, but it's not.
Do you feel the
memorable.
same sort of restriction that a paladin does?
No.
Wherein you have to kind of fall in this level of archetype to be a rogue?
That's not my issue with rogue. I mean, I'm not stuck in that mindset of being edgy thief or murder hobo. But my issue with rogue is that whatever I do choose, because it's always like, first off, of course you kill really good, but then you have your skills and you're proficient at those things. Then it feels like when you don't do those things or when you're not trying to do those things, you're just not going to be good at them.
And then you start to fall into the mindset of why would I bother interacting with anything that doesn't use the skills I'm good at?
Yeah. I'm fine being bad at a stat. It's just like, it's weird. It's when it comes to rogue, it's just me thinking, but I could just like not, and then it might go against
it's such a whiplash of going from I can't roll below a 25 to
Yeah.
hey, I have a +2.
Like, I was fine getting rid of the expertise on Ava just for some cool features. With a rogue, it's just like,
That's kind of your whole thing.
that's all I do.
All right, we're all gonna be shocked by the answer to this. Sorcerer.
It's always a 10. Because every fucking week, it's like, but I could do this with a sorcerer. But I could do this. Here's the thing. I love meta magic. I love fucking with spells and the freedom it gives. I like all of that. And the current one, using subtle spell to silently cast any magic I choose to sway what a situation calls for. I could subtle spell illusions and people would think they're real. I love it. I want to do that. I want to be in like a fucking in a magical or in a political meeting and I fucking silent image like a fucking vase falling over using thaumaturgy at the same time or something to cause like a panic or something, or like a goddamn explosion outside or something, just using my subtle spell. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm going with at the moment. And it's like, I can go so many ways with it. I love sorcerer.
Subtle spell a fireball and someone spontaneously combusts.
Yeah, you can do that. You can do the same thing. There's so many things you can do. Move on. I will be here forever if I talk about why I love sorcerer.
All right, warlock.
I mean, that's definitely right under. That's like 9.
Hmm.
Just because sorcerer is my number 10 and nothing's going to dethrone it, warlock's definitely up there.
Every person can make a warlock they would enjoy because warlocks can be vastly
here's
different.
The thing. It was rivaling sorcerer, my witchblade sorcerer for campaign 2 to just play a sorcelock.
Yeah. That's its own bag of worms.
There was a lot to do there. What's next?
Wizard.
I think that's I'll put it at 6. Just because I do have ideas for the wizard. They're not jumping out of my brain, but it's definitely not the 5 where I'm feeling like I'd have to.
And I'm gonna do this one just because this class is yes, it is a homebrew class technically, but it is canon in my games, so I count it. The Blood Hunter.
I'm gonna be honest, never really cared for it.
Mm-hmm.
So God, that might be near the lowest, near the bottom, right down there with the monk.
Is it a 2? Does it go below the monk? Would you hate it more than playing a monk?
I'm really thinking about it. It's a hard tie. I'm trying to think of what goes above and below. I keep falling out of the fucking water. I'd say the Blood Hunter is slightly above because I feel like I can work something in with what I know it does.
Here's the thing. Blood Hunter has cool themes. It's got the Ghost Slayer, it's got the Lycanthropy subclass. Like the Lycanthropy subclass in itself is cool. Like just having a werewolf subclass is it's a cool theme. Mutant subclass, Profane Soul subclass, those are whatever. I feel like the Lycanthropy holds it up by a lot.
Also, full deck, this is Parker trying to figure out by ranking the classes.
I like trying to figure out what's Kai's most hated class because it changes a lot.
It does. I have my opinions sway. But yeah, I think monk is the lowest then.
Mm-hmm. So what's the worst? So is a gnome monk would be the worst thing in the world for you? There's a question. What's worse for you, a halfling or a gnome?
I haven't looked
and
into
why?
too much. I'll have to. What is it that? I don't like the stealthy. I mean, the stealthy's cool. What was the halflings thing again?
Stealth.
Oh, they're both stealth?
No, gnomes are not stealth.
Oh, okay, I got them mixed up then. What was gnome?
Yeah, Gnomes typically are magical beings. Think of it this way. Halflings are to humans as gnomes are to elves.
Okay, and probably a halfling would be worse.
Don't tell Molly.
Where is he? My real character's not edgy at all. His background is an urban bounty hunter. His main objective is to find the one that saved him after all is left to die. After he got his arm chopped off to fight when he got...
That's pretty edgy.
Daniel, you said my rogue is not very edgy and then named a very edgy backstory. I'm gonna be honest.
It's kind of edgy.
I'm gonna be real. You contradicted yourself.
Hey, I like Edge. Kai doesn't like Edge, but I like
What do
Edge.
you mean I don't like Edge? The campaign 2 character is one of the edgiest things I've goddamn made.
Yeah, but that's because you've recently given in because of your Poke Roll team.
I've accepted it!
There's still a piece of you that hates yourself for it.
There is. But I can't deny anymore, Parker. It's there. Look, I have such an edgy team that I'm just like, I gotta keep getting Edge. It's gotta get sharper.
It's gotta get sharper. Sharper image.
I know it's so unlikely. I actually kind of started thinking of an idea for finding a Galarian. What's it called? Yamask. That was it.
Ah.
I thought of an idea just to try and help like whittle down it. Because if I basically reasoned, okay, a Galarian Yamask is just a regular Yamask that got possessed by a tablet. Meaning, it had to have been wherever the fuck a regular Yamask is, right? They don't just like, a Yamask doesn't just wander somewhere completely different than where it would normally be found to have that
That's
happen.
likely true.
So, when I get there, I can try and search basically at that point where they don't go in that area. Because they're rare Pokemon, Runerigus and Galarian Yamask. Right?
Oh yeah.
So
Considering how you evolve into Runerigus, yeah.
Yes. So at that point my brains are like, okay, I find where they are, and in that area I find where they aren't. And that's very vague, but that's where my brain's going. That's the best way to whittle down my odds. After that, if I'm gonna give it like one try, one day's worth, maybe a second if everyone else is searching for something. But I'm not gonna sweat over it. Cause I have a backup plan. I'm probably gonna get an Absol if I don't get a Runerigus, and then I'll have to go on that quest. Cause I don't want to get too many. I'm limiting myself on 9 full Pokemon. I'm already at 7. If I get the Eevee. So then it's just the one we're commissioning, and then whatever this last slot is going to be.
I did it, Kai. Huntress Piercing Wind. I took no damage on this level. By stacking a lot of Tim the Turtle.
Oh yeah, but I definitely have succumbed to Edge.
Yeah.
I've accepted it.
So Daniel presents an interesting. Read what Daniel said, Kai. Tell me if you agree.
Wait. I've never had an emo phase in my life. What do you? My character might have had an edgy backstory, but that does not make him edgy. Okay, so let me tell you about my campaign 2 character.
All right, we're getting into it.
I'll actually start with the personality. I'm basically as it stands, my character is going to be a noble, a bit stuck up, and full of themselves, but hardworking and inexperienced to a T. Like, never done their job in their life. So that's their personality.
Considering their job only pops up when things are going wrong, there's not a lot of time that they would have to do their job anyways.
Yeah. So they're trained but not experienced. Now, with all that inherently isn't edgy. That's how I'm going to play it and how I'm presenting it, and throughout the campaign, that's just how I'm going to be. Just a bit stuck up, noble, rich, but that's not edgy. But my character's still edgy, because their backstory is that they were born into a crown guard noble house in a different empire, whose main objective was to protect the crown from. How do I phrase it? Like just
You're the Secret Service.
I'm the Secret Service. I deal with the shit that doesn't get put on TV. And obviously, in ways that doesn't get put on TV. So, not very good house, but sometimes a necessary evil is how I would be. And they were born into this and made into a warrior through some very not nice methods. They had to go through some pretty torturous training methods just to get their magical sorcerer powers unlocked. And afterwards, they now have to sort of just like they're a sorcerer now because of that. They weren't born a sorcerer; they were made into a sorcerer, and that's very stressful on the body. So they have white hair now because their fucking hair goddamn lost its color because of it. So that's edgy. That's very edgy. So my character, personality-wise, and how I'm playing it, it's not edgy. But they're still an edgy character because of the backstory. That's fine. That's a fanfy. That's not edgy.
That's a cute boy.
But I mean, you can be edgy without having an edgy to a T rogue character that Mondays to Fridays sulks in the corner.
You can be edgy without being cringe.
Yeah. I am very much playing an edgy character, and I'm, to be honest, sounds like you're playing an edgy character inherently. Does it matter?
Listen,
presentation?
there's two kinds of rogues. There's edgy rogues, and then there's Iggy.
Well, you said it. By the way, Fanfy is caught. That was really easy, but that was also 30% chance in a fucking baby that I just kidnapped.
So you're Lee now.
I am Lee now. Where do you even find Fanfy? Savannah's?
I'm dropping so many frames on this level, and I don't know why.
He is mostly a monk, though, so if anything, he is an edgy monk. He was raised in the monk monastery. He did more roguish things when he grew up, but that's still trained away. I mean, yeah, it's still edgy. Look.
Kai is unconvinced.
I'm gonna be honest. A knife by any other name is still a knife. Look, I'm not ragging on you. I'm playing a very edgy character. It's just something that happens. It's fine to do it.
The first step, Daniel, is admitting that you have a problem.
Look, the second that I took Eerie into my care in Pokeroll is when I accepted the fact that I am an edgy Pokemon trainer and an edgy person, apparently. And I might have a nice spread of colorful Eevee things on my wall, but at the end of the day, I'm currently about to play one of the edgiest characters in D&D ever, and I want to do it. So I'm an edgy person. And that's how it is.
What's the edgiest character that's ever been played in our group, Kai?
Noxia?
I think that beats Dietrich.
Yeah.
Dietrich was gothic. Was he edgy? He was edgy.
He was honestly inherently with how his backstory went. It wasn't as edgy because it didn't have the tragic loss. Like you had a loss, but a loss in a natural way, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
It wasn't taken from you by someone in some kind of like house fire or some shit.
No, can't say it was. No.
So I would say you are more gothic and emo, but you're not edgy. Or well, you're edgy, not as edgy. I think Noxia is the edgiest.
Can you be emo without being edgy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That just means you're kind of depressing.
Yeah. Okay, maybe that's what he was.
What makes something? Oh wait, did I read that already? No, I haven't read that. What about Mystery Man, my rogue who committed too much identity theft? Depends on the backstory. My past is so sad. I'm so cool.
Sorry, what?
What the fuck? I don't think my character thinks he
one.
is cool. I think he just wants to repay the person who saved him all. Yeah. Here's again. Edginess is based on the back of backstory. It is where you came from. And a little bit of how you present, but I firmly believe it's where you came from.
Edginess is not necessarily a bad thing.
It's
Let's
not.
also reiterate that.
This is a point I'm trying to... It's just a way of playing. Edginess is.
I'm also of the opinion that most D&D player characters are edgy just because you need a reason to be free in the world and go adventure, and that usually involves either death or loss.
It's a lot easier to have your character forced into the world through a means than to somehow explain through meticulous means why they felt the need to do it without needing the parents, while also leaving the safety of their home. Because, like, even my... Oh, hey, it's Heracross. Even my current character, Ava, was basically forced out of her home. So, It's less like a flowchart and more just like a bar. How high on the bar are you? Is how it ends up being. Everyone's character is a little bit edgy. Some just have a little more coloring put into it. But again, Daniel, it's like it's not a bad thing. It's just like because the only point when it gets bad, I'll start this talking point. The only point when edginess is bad is when you refuse to participate because of your edginess.
I brood in the corner silently.
That's it, like the Joe Cat video where he's brooding in the corners in the silence, hoping that people talk to him, but when they do, never actually talking.
You will have to unravel my... Kai, Iggy did this. You will have to unravel my backstory through earning my trust in long and emotional journeys. And then everyone walked away.
Yeah. You said not to play a character that is me, and I don't think I'm edgy. Me as a person who did not have an edgy life, so I guess I create a character that is edgy. I didn't say not to play your character. We're not saying not to do it. We're saying that it's just something that like happens with characters. It's a bar of how edgy you are. It's
he's
fine.
saying you said not to play a character that is him.
Oh, like you specifically. Yeah, don't play yourself. Don't insert yourself.
Mother...
Like you can. Here's the thing, actually. I'll jump back to the edginess, but I want to say this because this is what you asked. Don't play you to a T, but you can add ideas and
You can't unless you're
values
a
of
professional
yourself.
unless you're a professional actor. You can't not play some parts of yourself.
Like there's gonna be parts of you in the character just because it's easier for you to think based on what your character's doing if you would also do it. So you're gonna see yourself in your character, and you should, unless you are, like Parker said, a professional actor. That's not a bad thing. The only time you shouldn't do it is when it's literally just you as a self-insert, because then you start getting to the point where, okay, wait, you might accidentally take insult when people do something against you. But back to the edginess thing with the rogue, it only becomes an issue, like I said, and like Parker said, when you're just like, you refuse to unravel and you want the other people to force you to do it. Because they're not there for you. They're there to have a fun time too, and if you're not gonna fucking budge, no one's gonna ask. So there's someone's like, oh, where'd you come from? And you say, I don't want to say it. And they're like, okay, I'm not gonna ask then. That's it.
That's the end of the conversation.
Alright, I don't want to say it, I'm not gonna ask, okay. Which is, like Parker said, exactly what's happening with Iggy.
Happened.
Happens.
I'm hoping we're fine now.
I hope we're fine. It's, I'm gonna be honest, still a bit of a struggle. Iggy still hasn't told us anything that much.
Hey, you know they have a family, I think.
They have a family. We know they have a brother, which we found out.
Hey, remember the part? Yeah, remember the part where I was sitting there learning the backstory, just the same as you guys.
But we know Iggy has a family, a brother. There is a boy in the family, and 2 moms.
Yep.
We do not know the size of the family, the location of the family, who the family is. And yeah, or anything like that.
I think you need another emotional journey, Kai. You need a Zuko adventure.
A Zuko adventure. Yeah, the point is, no one's gonna unravel it for you. You're gonna have to unravel your own story. And inherently, when you're playing a D&D character, you should be... You should.
I think the point of this is that edgy is not necessarily a bad thing.
It's not. Edgy's not bad.
Just don't be destructively edgy.
Yeah, don't be destructive. My character will eventually open up, I can say that. He just needs time to adjust to a big party and to trust them with his personal info. As long as you are the one that is going to push that in the end, it's like eventually you're going to open up, then thumbs up.
I'll say this. This probably helps out a lot of people. Because I imagine also, a lot of people imagine their characters having a big emotional moment with the rest of the party. Sometimes you gotta be okay with the fact that your character just comes to terms with it in their own head, and it's not going to be a big moment for everyone. But honestly, it's fine.
It's never going to be a big cinematic moment unless you're really lucky. But it can still be a moment that'll be nice for people.
Okay, this alternate art is pretty cool.
It's alternate
For the
art.
Huntress.
Oh,
I
for
go,
the Huntress?
Yeah, I go.
I was looking at nerds. I thought something else got sent.
No, the one where you flip back and fire bolts.
Oh yeah, I
The
got
big
that one. It's pretty
ballista
good.
thing.
It's not good for glass, but it's really good for a regular playthrough.
I'm hoping I just nuke a boss with it.
Oh, you
That's the only
sure
reason
can.
I'm
It does a
trying
lot
in
of
glass.
damage.
It's the only reason I'm using it in glass. Hey, bosses. I would have liked it if I could have gotten a other white item, but I guess I'm here now. Oh my god!
What's the
Yeah,
edgiest
my-
character that you've had the chance of making? NPC or personal character?
NPC or personal character?
Like one that you've played? Because I know you've played, obviously, Dietrich, and you played in, when you were doing Ravnica. That guy was kind of edgy as
Yeah.
far as I could tell.
He was edgy. He was pretty edgy. He was a psychopath, though. Is a psychopath edgy?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, he was pretty
It's
edgy.
pretty edgy.
He was a psychopath bard, which, by the way, I really like. I like one of my favorite things about bards is when people take the bard and do the instead of doing the very charming and persuasive bard, people do a terrifying bard because you can do just as well with intimidation as you can persuasion. It's so good. I love seeing it.
My very first D&D, or actually art, just tabletop character was a wood elf in Lord of the Rings, or
You were a
woodsman.
woodsman.
Sorry, woodsman, not elf. Who just lived on his own because that's how I understood woodsmen were because I didn't really know much about Lord of the Rings.
And Kai, how were you introduced to the party?
I was introduced as they were leaving their campfire, eating their marshmallows off the ground.
You found marshmallows in the woods. And you're like, oh, there's people here.
Yep, and then they were like, "Can we keep him?" And then you were like, "I guess we can keep him." And now I'm on their party.
It was great.
Also, yeah, John Parker played in the short Ravnica thing.
I did.
But I was just back to the original question though. What NPC or player character? Who do you think is your edgiest character?
I honest to God think Tychorus.
Tychorus.
Venerix got the same thing as Dietrich. He's more gothic than he is edgy because
Yeah.
he's not that edgy. He's kind of funny.
He hasn't had
He's
a
funny
tragic
guy.
backstory as far as I'm concerned, right?
Yeah, he's just he's just the typical Shutterkai elf. He's not.
He's just
There's nothing
he's,
super tragic.
He's just black and white.
He's kind of a funny. He's honestly kind of he's a little more of a comedy character than he is an edgy character. He's kind of funny. Just because he's literally the definition of being the straight man in terms of like everything he says is completely deadpan. So it makes a lot of deliveries pretty funny sometimes.
Why do you think Tychorus is your edgiest?
Just because he has that edgy backstory to a T.
Oh, I don't even know Tychorus' backstory.
I can tell you because again, I told you we're not really going back to that place.
I don't think I'm ever gonna be like, so Tychorus, my man, what happened?
How's it going?
What was your life like?
Dude?
And he's just like, what? Who the fuck? I hired you like twice.
Tychorus, he is. You did know he was one of the 3 Elven Kings of Imlis.
Yep.
3 Elven Crowns. He's and he's got edgy backstory. He served. Sorry, I'm also dodging out of the way and avoiding dying in glass mode while we're doing this. He is the sort of old war buddy with Fiera's dad because before they were both heads of their house, they went off to one of the many wars that Imlis has fought through. And back then, he was pretty cool guy. He was actually a lot like Fiera's brother. He was pretty lighthearted, and he was very very honorable, but at the same time, he was very fun-loving. And then he got married, and at some point, when his father passed the crown to him, that's when all that pressure of essentially being like, you know,
Oh, like, oh shit, I have to do this
head of
now.
national defense is like, he's like, it kind of was like, at first he was fine and he was just handling it, and then it's the president syndrome of like, it ages you 20 years for every year you're in office, you know. So that kind of just kept going and going and going and going, and then he became obsessed with the fact that he only had one heir. He only ever had one child, and he kind of became obsessed with the fact that I need to prepare my son for what this is going to be like. And then in turn, he kind of made his son hate him for it because it made it seem like he was a father that didn't really care. So that happened. After that, and that caused the son to pretty much renounce his family and run away.
Oh, I thought it's something that happened. He died.
No, he just ran away. It was a big scandal in terms of like, everyone was like, wait, so what happened? And then Tychoras just wouldn't talk about it, just wouldn't acknowledge it. So now he became obsessed with a very new problem that kind of brought on. That was there is a very old and ancient prophecy in the Feywild that has to do with the Sunshroud family, and I don't know the exact words of it right off the top of my head. I'd have to look at my notes, but it's basically the way Tychoras interpreted it is, as soon as there is no Sunshrouds left to lead the elves, the apocalypse will start. That's kind of what the prophecy sort of said.
God damn.
Yeah, it was a lot. So that stressed him out even more. So then he was like, I have to find a way to I have to find a way to prevent that from happening. And it was either finding eternal life for himself or having another heir. Well, didn't have another heir, as you can tell. That just wasn't in the cards, because it's very, very unlikely for elves to actually have children just because they have such a long lifespan. It kind of it balances itself.
Man, it sucks for my character's mom, huh?
Yeah. Like, elves are very unlikely to have children at all because they live so long that at some point it's just going to happen.
Sucks to be her. Anyways, go on.
But yeah. And then so he became obsessed with that prophecy to the point where he was like, that's all he thought about is, how do I keep the Sunshroud family in power? That's like legitimately all he thought about. And there was even a time where he toyed with trying to give himself eternal life. Fun fact, that's why the Afridi bottle was hidden in his desk.
Uh-oh.
Because he was thinking about using the wishes to do something, but he ultimately decided against it.
Okay.
That is very likely to go horribly. No, he's not a stupid person.
I was gonna be like, oh no, that's gonna be real bad when he finds out.
No, acquiring that was desperation. Like, that was the act of a desperate man. And then he got there and he was like, I can't do this. This is insane. What am I doing? This will go wrong in so many ways.
I was gonna be like, damn, that's gonna suck for him when he hears.
No. And he just kind of hid it there because he hadn't really told anyone that he went out to find it. So yeah.
And now we have another heir, and the apocalypse is gonna happen when
if that's the correct, again, if I found the exact words, you could see that there's multiple ways to take the prophecy around the Sunshrouds. Just the way that Tychoras believes it is, the Sunshrouds are the only thing standing between the world and the end times. So, but there was just a point that came very recently where essentially his need to save his own sanity and marriage became more than his desperation to avoid this prophecy. Which is why he reluctantly gave up the throne, and you guys helped him find a new heir, a new family to take that throne. So yeah, he's a very, very edgy character. There's also the fact that he's a shadow sorcerer, because somewhere back, far, far back in the line, his ancestors were actually Raven Queen cultists.
Ah. Fun.
Yeah, he's an edgy kid. He was a super edgy NPC.
I guess is that why Abby doesn't like him?
No, Abby likes him. Fiera's just doesn't like him because he's.
Oh, Fiera doesn't like him
because he's kind of a prick.
There you go.
I mean, you've met him. He's not a great guy to have dinner with.
Hey, how about we tell the time when Iggy told a cop, "Hey, I stole from you."
You tell that.
You
I don't
tell
even know how to
that.
remember. I don't really remember it. I honest to God, that's not one of the things I retain.
Oh, no, it was... No, I know what the conversation was. It was right after we got back from the Feywild, and it involved because it was after Iggy's year off when they went on a stealing spree and stole from the... What's the third family? I always forget their name because we never really talk about them.
High Gardens.
The High Gardens, because she stole from the High Gardens, and Iggy walked up and said, "Hey, I stole from you. What do I do?" Because she stole from the kingdom.
Yeah, he's like, hey, I stole from the High Gardens. And he's like, that's like my kingdom, right?
And you know I'm a cop.
I'm like, I'm not even the cop. I'm like,
I'm...
head cop.
I am the cop.
Why are you telling? He wasn't even. He didn't even arrest her because he was like, "What are you doing? What are you doing right now?"
It's only by Parker's will to not absolutely kill all
Derail
of us
everything.
that we still continue on this campaign.
Hey,
I'm not innocent.
If I was any harsher of a DM, you'd be playing a new character after that 1 year break.
I am not innocent. How edgy is a warforged that gained PTSD from fighting in a war, then got amnesia and learns his backstory from PTSD?
That sounds like Mason from the Black Ops series.
It does, but I'm gonna be honest, that also is kind of edgy.
Again, most D&D characters are going to be edgy.
Edgy is just tragic backstory affecting current decisions. And the tragic part is the emphasis.
Yeah.
So the less tragedy you have, the less edge is usually how it follows. Alternatively, you can have no tragic backstory and still be a prick, and then you're just an asshole.
Have we ever had any character like that?
Anyone just an asshole?
An asshole for no reason.
You know, all our characters have reasons, and no one's an asshole if they don't. I guess... I don't know.
Attention, New Yorkers.
I don't think we really have that.
Safe when you're out. Wear a face covering. Whether it's two of you or a group of
I was gonna ask something, I forgot what it was.
Or getting together. Keep a safe distance. Stay 6 feet apart. Keep doing your part to keep your friends.
It's gone.
It's gone.
Wear your face covering.
The thought's gone. Oh yeah!
And get tested.
I'm gonna be honest, didn't know that that's how elves and children worked, and having one is lucky.
Coronavirus.
Well, not having one is lucky. It's just like having one's still unlucky. But here's the thing: elves live a very long time. That's a long time to try to have a kid.
Yeah.
So the way it kind of naturally weighs out is that because their odds are so low, they end up having about the same family size as most other creatures. Otherwise, if they had the same fertility rate as humans, they would have a family of dozens, hundreds of kids. Because of how long they live.
Yeah. That's what I was just saying, with like the mom just popping out a half dragon is like,
Well, that's unfortunate.
oh, well, too bad.
That's what happens when you bang a dragon.
It kind of do be.
Listen, if you don't want a half dragon kid, shop on a different website.
Tense, nervous, or irritable at the forefront of the trend, experimental or avant-garde. Okay, look. We're not using...
What the fuck was just said to me?
Daniel looked up the definition of edgy, but this is slang. We're not using an Urban Dictionary word here.
Hey, I mean, to be fair, all these backstories are very tense.
They're pretty tense. But experimental or avant-garde?
The standard adventurer in D&D is edgy.
Yeah. It's just how far you lean into that.
I mean, look at it this way, okay?
Matt?
The pre-made character you played yesterday was edgy.
Yeah. I play him a little more
And
lax, but yeah, he was edgy.
I think you played him pretty much how he would normally be played. I think you pretty much like, hey, it's just because Just because the guy's edgy doesn't mean everything he says is edgy.
Yeah, but I feel like if I were to play him as far to the T, I would lean a little bit more into specifically trying to do whatever job would net me away back home without being ghosted.
Well, considering that character and Feathershall had identical goals, you probably would have leaned more into that.
Yeah.
Either way.
My character's backstory isn't edgy. He's only a dragonkin house servant that escaped on an elven house with a pale tree that he believes is magical. Pretty good, huh, Kappa?
Wait, what the fuck?
John's just making a joke. Slang, cool by being virtue of tough, dark, or badass. Internet slang, exhibiting behavior that is disconcerting or alarming, sometimes in an effort to impress or to troll others.
That's definitely internet edgy.
That's internet edgy. I don't think any of our characters are trying to troll.
Well, the first one, cool by virtue of being tough, dark, or badass.
That's definitely
pretty much what we're talking. That's the one.
That first bit is definitely it. You actually thought that was a cool backstory from 4 years ago. Ah.
Hey, I could see it.
My first D&D character I ever made was a Dragonborn Paladin, classic, because I had watched Heroes and Half-Wits and saw Michael's Mogar. I was like, I kind of want to do something like that. But he was a pretty lax guy who, I can't remember it. I think he got thrown out of his sort of monastery or wherever he was teaching because, like...
You like monastery characters.
I like it. It's in fantasy, it's easy. That's all. But I think he got thrown out just because he was bad at his studies.
He was just stupid.
He's kind of stupid.
Alright, I dig it. It's funny.
Yeah. So then he was just on the road trying to help people using his paladin abilities. And I'm sticking to it. Which of those fits your character? Are you talking about the Warforged or
The definitions, I assume.
No, I meant the Warforged or the Tabaxi. I don't know which character you mean. Because I know you've talked about the Tabaxi that runs like a fucking bullet. The Rogue Monk? Yeah, wait, let me scroll up to read the backstory of that again.
Yeah, what was the backstory again? We've talked about so many, I'm kind of losing track.
It's the person that wanted to repay his save. He was raised in a monk monastery. He did more rogue things when he grew up. His backstory is an urban bounty hunter. His main objective is to find the one that saved him after he was left to die after he got his arm chopped off of a fight when he got into a fight with his brother.
That's dark.
That is dark.
Wait, that's Wolverine.
That is, yeah, that's pretty dark.
Yeah, it's pretty dark. Yeah, if I were Sabretooth.
Basically. If you want examples for my actual current character, not the one I'm talking about playing. Ava is a half-dragon who grew up in a religious city in a Temple of Ioun, which housed a few of the more common races, just dwarves, elves, and humans. But she, being a half-dragon, was more set to being bullied because kids are assholes and the teachers were also a bit assholes.
Also, no one knew what the fuck you were.
Yeah, they were like,
You're
what
the
the
one
fuck
of a
is
kind.
this? So,
Hey, you want to talk about edgy? Kind of a one-of-a-kind race.
Yep. And her mom didn't exactly treat her, didn't like hate her, but it just seemed like she's supposed to sort of be a important person, not like a head at the monastery, but like a teacher of some kind. And having Ava was kind of like, what the fuck happened? What the fuck did you do? Is what people would say to her basically to make Ava. And she was also born with an imp that was following her, not possessing her, and only Ava could see it. But she was born with this imp that would basically watch around and talk to her. And that became her friend. And eventually, all their efforts to exorcise it failed, and when she was finally old enough, they basically said, okay, we're sending you out, you solve this. And now she was traveling the world to try and figure out how to solve it, even though she probably was never going to.
Also, at some point, you just kind of said "fuck that" and just settled down in Aimless.
Well, that was one of the places that she was heading to first because, well, it's Aimless and.
It also seems like Ava had no intention of ever getting rid of Tull.
Oh yeah, no, that's true. She was more so trying to research why Tull would follow her. I don't think she ever intended to, and I'm gonna be honest, it's hard to feel attached to a place that is the reason for all of your bullying. Considering she didn't exactly have a mother that cared, or friends, other than the imp that they told her to get rid of, so why she would get rid of the imp, I never even intended to be like, yeah, no, fuck that.
Can we also mention the fact that me and Abby pointed out a habit you made that
No.
turned...
I have a habit of making my father of all of my D&D characters either like an asshole or like
or evil
or something. I don't know why.
And we were like, "Hey Kai, you good? You and your dad, like, okay?"
Here's the thing. My
and
dad's
we're like,
great.
"Yeah, why?" And we're like, "You sure you want to make this character's dad like your last character and the character before that?" And you're like, "So their mother."
Instantly. My dad's fine. I love my dad. He's great. He's nice. 'Cause I have no issues with my parents.
I was just like,
I need to say this on
you
stream.
good?
I need to say this on stream. I have a good relationship with my family. There's nothing wrong.
Oh god, it was really funny.
Yeah, watch all of my dads actually be the same guy.
They're all the same. All of your
Same.
characters are siblings.
So I didn't even know. It's just a dragon that goes around banging people.
Yeah, it's
Is it-
Zeus.
My dad's Zeus! We figured it out!
Oh shit.
So the character is cool by virtue of being dark? Yeah. That's not a bad thing.
Yeah, we like your character. Your character's fine. There's nothing wrong with it.
It's just the thing that we said, like, I got through in Pokeroll. Just accept it. It's just a way
Just
of making
accept it.
characters.
Accept the fact that you're edgy. You'll be
It's fine. It makes it easier, because then you're like, wow, I'm just gonna lean into this. I'm gonna make a fucking Edgemeister 4000. Dark backstory included, as long as I'm not just being an asshole to people, it's fine.
Edgemeister 4000. What's his relation to Evo Raptor?
The real question is, what's the relation to Heresy Smiter 4000?
That's what I was trying to remember.
I made a character that was a Warforged Paladin whose primary objective was to smite all heathens of his religion. And he was gonna be like complete lawful neutral, like to the T. If you go against the
Heresy
code,
Smiter 4000.
look, if you go against the code in front of him, he's gonna kill you. Doesn't matter who you are.
Smiter of Heresy.
Got an ego situation going on over here. Ego the living planet. Just a dad
He
going
was a great
around.
dad, right?
Ah! Oh wow, you're the right child. You're the good child. And he's like, oh wow. Wait, I have brothers? Had. Oh, you had stepbrothers and stepmothers. But had is the opportune word in this situation. I'm thinking about my edge character. I'm gonna go with the great sword. I want the big knight sword. How far back does it go to be part of backstory for someone IRL? That's. I mean, like, it could be a day. You're asking a real
Oh, so-
philosophical question there.
What the fuck is going on in Ebonreach?
I don't know. Let me look. I just got.
At you.
I saw. I was like, and I was scrolling up to be like, what the hell is happening right now?
I was. The question was posed: who would you take on a lifeboat? And you have like 5-person max. I think you'd like my answer.
What was your answer? Because I can't see it.
Oh, I said
All right.
my mom and my dog, and then I said maybe Parker if he's behaving that day.
Son of a bitch.
You had 5 options and went with 3 at best. Sure, in your eyes, it's like an open boat is nice. I'm still trying to catch this fucking Heracross and Xatu.
That's what you said today would be like.
I sure did say today would be like this. I found a few and they refuse to get caught. Here's the thing, I only need the Heracross. I don't need the Xatu, but every time I run into it, it's like, I might as well try.
Kai, if I ever had the opportunity to design a Pokemon game, I hope you know that I would try to make it as impossible as possible to get a living dex.
I know you would. Because you know how easy it is to do that, Parker?
Oh.
Exclusive version to difficulty ratings and to versions. So you just make a hard mode and an easy mode, and
Also,
one Pokemon...
story-based Pokemon. It's super easy.
Yeah.
It just make a story-based Pokemon that evolves. You only get one of them.
Like another Urshifu.
Yeah, exactly. Ain't nobody trading you their Cubfu.
I'd have to spend so much money to get more versions. So many versions. To be fair, I'd only need 2, but the amount of playthroughs to get through to that would be blow my brains out.
At that point, you start questioning why you're doing living decks.
I do it over time. I'm gonna be honest. I'm still missing Cosmoem is the name. I'm not stressing about it. It's along with the mythicals. It's like if I manage to run into what I do, I'm more concerned with the. It's not a concern. I do living decks because I found that I have so much fun playing through Pokemon on my first playthrough when a game comes out and being like, I want to get everything. I just like collecting it all. So I like having that box of just like, I have options if I ended up not liking something and knowing what Game Freak put out. It made Gen 8 a lot more fun.
Mm-hmm. Imagine if Gen 8 was just fun on its own when it came out.
Only. If only.
It's fun now.
It's fun now. I like it a lot now. Maybe one day we'll do another Raid Den stream.
Yeah. I still want to finish it. The Raid Den's fun. I enjoy it. The Raid Adventures.
Yep. Then I might actually be edgy for the sole fact that in middle school I had thoughts about... Oh, that's not edgy. That's... I think you should, like... That's something that you should talk to someone about.
You can't hide. They're following you. Your cravings for nacho fries will never stop. The warm nacho cheese.
Edgy backstories ideally should be a joke term reserved for D&D characters. Generally, you don't call IRL people edgy unless they're being cringe. It's a weird, like, line. When it comes to RP, that edgy is okay, and then when it comes to IRL, it's like, then that's kind of being mean.
I don't know, Kai. Looking nerds.
I did see that, actually.
Yes.
Oh, I got Xatu. I'll update it when the PNG comes out. It has the enigmatic power of foreseeing the future. Some people in different lands have long believed that Xatu are emissaries from another world. Alright.
I'm excited for these Pokemon that we commissioned from Sophie.
I am too. I'm super excited. That's also why I'm very much not sweating Runerigus. Like, if I don't get it, okay. I got this guy coming up. Go near. Heracross, don't you dare run. I had my heart stop. It got 3 shakes. I was like, is it gonna end? Is the stream gonna end?
Is that when you're ending the stream? Is that all you need?
Heracross is it. It's the only one I need required. I could search for a Wobbuffet or a Golduck for extra, but I can get those later. By other means. Heracross is the last. Oh!
Yeah, did you get it?
I got it.
Stream's over.
Here, I'll waste the last 6 trying to get Wobbuffet.
Okay.
But odds are I won't get it.
Do you need Wobbuffet?
I don't, but I might as well finish this run trying. The gathering forest seeking the sweet sap of trees. It is completely clad in steel hard shell. It is proud of its horn, which it uses to fling foes. That's a hard-ass beetle. Alright. Wobbuffet. I haven't had it in the past, and I'm over it because we were trying to find medication to help me stay calm and eventually found the meds. We found the meds before I could cause harm to myself, but I switched schools at the end of 7th grade. That's good to know. That you found a way to deal with it, so to speak. But yeah, that's what we mean by, like, edgy IRL is different than edgy in roleplay. Just because roleplay is roleplay, and it's, at the end of the day, fantasy. There's a lot more leeway. IRL, it's something of concern. Oh, I don't want to walk near a gloom. It smells. What is this? I got too much. Ba 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 ba. Ba 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 ba. Why pull that just?
Thank you for.
What? What happened? What did you do to them? What?
Official Rick Astley YouTube channel. Oh, almost 2 million. Hey, he's almost got 2 million subscribers.
I'll just swim now. I'm not gonna. I'll run out the clock if I find a gold.
Oh man. Oh, that was funny. Let's go again.
He's just gonna loop it. He's gonna loop it until I'm out of the Safari Zone.
Yep.
Check Discord. What am I about to see on Discord?
Where are we supposed to look?
I assume in my server. Numa. It might have been Numa. According to the BBC article dated November 27th, 2006, the original Numa video has been seen over 700 million times, making it the second most viewed viral video for more. Yeah. It might have been Numa. Oh, Gangnam Style hit the limit as well. Okay.
What's the limit? Just before 1 billion.
Can it not handle the big B? How wild is it that how much money do you think those fucking videos generate?
If they were allowed to put ads on them, probably a lot.
A 32-bit integer system. Limit of 2,147,483,647. Alright, so Fancy goes after Giraffarig. Zatu goes after Not2. Heracross goes after Pinsir. Console. Anyways, I'm done. I'm done. Shut the fuck up.
I'm doing it until we stop streaming.
I'll head out now. We'll be back on. Stop getting louder. I'm heading out now. On Tuesday, we're gonna do Mystery Dungeon. Sophie's gonna DM. Parker can shut the fuck up in a few seconds. Hope you guys had a good night. I hope you guys have even more of a good night. See you guys. Thanks for watching. Parker.